Marvin seas. Can you play Motel 11? Oh yeah. So I can ask this lady to please take me. I've been at work all week and I deserve to come out and have a good time. I've been spending my money on everybody else. Tonight I'm gonna spend every dime. 'Cause it's Friday. It's Friday. Yes it is. Gonna get my groove on. And I'm gonna party and get my groove on. Get my groove on. It's Friday. Friday, baby. Oh, oh. And I'm gonna party till the break of dawn. The break of dawn. It's Friday. Friday, baby. Come on, y'all. And I'm gonna party.
Hi, Tom Bodette. Of all the things invented in 1962, some have faded away, like cassette tapes, and others are still very much with us, like lava lamps and Motel 6. Yep, Motel 6 is celebrating 50 years of giving travelers a good night's rest and saving you more for what you travel for. But we're just getting started. In fact, the longer you watch us, the better we get. Kind of like a lava lamp. Trippy. I'm Tom Bodette for Motel 6. 50 years and the light's still on.
Welcome back, folks. You listen to Baltimore's Talking Live. We're back in the hot seat with Miss Denise Turney.
Oh, shit. Sorry about that. I put my phone on mute. Always on a break, I put my phone on mute. Yes, and also, if you want to chime in with a conversation, feel free to ask us. Our number is 917-889-8825. Once again, there's 917-889-8825. And call in, press 1 to speak to us. If not, I'm listening to you. Denise, we talk about beginnings of a writer. How did your ideas flow with these ideas for all your different books? You talk about anything from back when you was a little kid, all up towards the newest one, self-love. How do you come up with some of these ideas for your books, and how do you keep the reader interested?
Actually, was one of my latest books. I was watching a TV show, and it isn't published. The working title is "Running Toward Freedom," and it's about a sex slave trafficking, which is really, really bad. Jeffrey Epstein is the only one was involved in that. But that came from watching a TV show I saw. So that's where that ideal came from. But generally, some of them, like Portia, started with a personal experience I had when I was in the Navy. And I didn't think I was going to make it because I kept having to go to all these specialists to get checked. And so I started writing letters to my family. Well, of course, I did survive it. And it actually didn't have breast cancer. And I didn't make them letters. Portia is like written in memoir format. But that's where the inspiration for Portia. I said, you know what, I'm going to take this and turn it into a novel. Some of the other ones, I honestly cannot tell you. I just tell myself I'm going to sit down and I'm going to start writing another novel, and it'll just come. I have a young adult, this might be my first young adult novel, Rosetta, the talent show queen. She's 10 years old, and she is so amazing. She's bold and spunky, and she's always getting into trouble. But she's a good kid. She's not a bad kid, but she's 10 years old, always up to something, Rosetta Blay. And that just came up, the ideal. And it actually, a character I used to read when I was a kid, Pippi Longstocking, was one of my all-time favorite childhood book characters. So that, just the personalities, that bold personality, but fun, not like a mean, pushy boldness. And that's where the personality came from for Rosetta, but the story, it just comes up. some tips around writing and book marketing for Baltimore Live listeners. They can find it at my website. I have a blog at my website, and every week I put up a new article. This one is about using analytics to market books. But if somebody's in small business, they can also get something from it. The importance of using analytics. But my website is chistel.com, CHISTELL.com. Again, that's CHIST as in Tom, ELL.com. Would love for you guys to stop over, but you can read free excerpts of my books there. And you can also, again, if you go to the blog, you can read, and it's free, you can read the tips, and I put one out, an article every single week. But where ideas come from, again, that one from watching a TV show, the other from a personal experience I had, the other from the character ideal came from a character I just fell in love with when I was a kid. But a lot of times it's just sitting down, and if beyond that, honestly, I guess that's what the difference of being a writer is. I couldn't tell you beyond that. With a lot of the books, I just sit down, I say I'm going to write a story. I'm working on a book right now that's set in the 1940s in Chicago, and it's about a black woman, and she becomes like one of the first women. She's in a numbers game, and it might have came from a TV show and just that I was watching, but like Spiral, which is set in Memphis, Tennessee, it's like a murder mystery. I don't know where I got that story idea from. When I look back, I just sat down, I start writing. Now, some of my books, like Running Toward Freedom, I created an outline for it. So it was really, really fast, easy for me to knock that book out. I'm almost finished with it really fast. But most of my books, I don't even create an outline. With Spiral, I did character sketches because in parts, I said, I didn't feel connected enough to some of the characters. So I would have them write a letter, or I'd do a character sketches, or I'd have my character write her mother a letter or something, and I feel more connected to the character. I've done those things, but a lot of the ideas just pop up. A Long Walk Up is the one book that came to me very differently. Long Walk Up, I was driving, and I used to live in the Northeast. I was driving up toward Princeton, and out of the blue, from within me, I just say it came from my higher self, I got specific instructions to write a story about a little girl who had a tremendously hard and challenging childhood. I mean, just painfully hard, but this glorious, marvelous ending. Her destiny was amazing. So Long Walk Up tells the story of Mulligan, who lives in Africa, and when her father first passed, and her brothers and sisters, when her mother passes, she's 6 years old, and she could stay with the village or the community she's known all her life, and the leader of the community or the tribe, he knows something different about her, and he's tough. There's something about her that just rubs him the wrong way because she's not one you're going to be. She's kind of like what I would have think like a Harriet Tubman. You're not going to be able to tell her what to do. And so at 6 years old, she walks off. She leaves all she's ever known. And there are kids, I tell people, who live totally on their own. They call them street children. And they make it on their own. So she takes off at 6 years old, and she heads up this hill. Well, that little orphan girl goes on to become Africa's first woman president. It's a fictional book, and somewhere around that time, Africa did elect its first woman president. But that book came to me in a way no other book I've ever written, and it's actually right now my number one seller. Is the way it came to me. I was clear specific instructions about that book. So, but the other ones come just, a lot of it, just sit down and I say, I'm going to write a book, and I start writing. just start writing.
Yes, yes, indeed. You did very good work, indeed. And I'm looking in your website and your blog, and I want to talk about one thing you want to talk about, trustful process to live your best life. Tell me about that.
you know what? And these are things that it's odd that I write these things, and you know, before COVID, I used to get out on the road more and do more public speaking, and it's odd when people say, "Oh, what you share really inspired me or was motivating." I was feeling like throwing in the towel or whatever. But I mean, I struggle myself. We all do. But who was it? Steve Jobs said this when he because his parents left him. They just said they didn't want a child. Their lives couldn't be complicated with a kid. So, but when you look back, he said when he looked back over his life, he could see the dots connecting. But you don't see the dots connecting as you're moving forward. It's only when it's almost over and you look back and you go, oh, I see now why that happened. Oh, now I see how that connected. But when you're in it, it feels so hard and impossible. And I mean, I think just that word impossible, I was thinking of just Nelson Mandela popped into my head. I couldn't imagine being on an island in prison for 27. I couldn't imagine going through what he went through. I couldn't imagine it. How you keep encouraging yourself not to give up. I couldn't even imagine it. And you think your whole future is over. Like if this is all there is, I might as well quit. And you don't know that there is a marvelous future ahead of you, even as you're struggling. You can't see it. You can't see it. So that's what I mean with trust the process. Do the right things. Definitely practice self-love and, love other people. And if people who don't love you, they got to go. You got to kindly tell them, I just can't be. I can't stay here unless you mistreat me because I love myself. So those type of things, and then life is still tough, but you have to trust the process when you're doing the right thing. When you're doing the right things, I've heard people say I did the right thing, and I feel like I got popped in the mouth for it. Like it was no payoff for it. Just keep on, just keep doing the right things, and trust the process. When something tells you to call somebody, call them. You know when you get being led by your higher self. I think we all know when we are. Don't talk yourself out of a good opportunity. Don't say they wouldn't talk to me, or do it, and trust the process. And look at Oprah. If you were Oprah Winfrey at when she was maybe like 12 or 15, you wouldn't think her life would have turned out the way it did. If I was her, I wouldn't. But you have to trust the process. Denzel Washington's another one. He said if it wasn't for the boys' club, but who knew he was going through what he did? You can't see the finish from where you are. So you have to trust the process, do the right thing, and follow inner guidance. Even when you're scared, don't talk yourself out of it. If something tells you to call somebody, call them. Don't say they're too important, they wouldn't talk to me. Make that phone call. If something tells you to go to an event, go to an event. Don't talk yourself out of doing good. We don't talk ourselves out a lot of times out of doing bad stuff. Don't talk yourself. Even a job. I had suggested a job to somebody, and they're like, well, I don't think I'm anywhere qualified, so I wouldn't apply for it. Susan Taylor from Essence Magazine, she got offered the editor job at Essence. A lady who knew her said, you should go apply for that job. And she said, I have no experience at that. I can't do it. Look what Susan Taylor became at Essence Magazine. So you got to trust the process. Don't talk yourself out of a good thing. I know people who told me, a friend told them, go apply for that job. They're like, oh, I'm not qualified. Go apply for that job. And they did, and they excelled at it. So don't trust the process. Follow your higher self. Don't talk yourself out of things. Don't scare yourself out of a good opportunity, and wait and see what happens.
Yes, indeed. For the viewers at home, can you tell where can we find you? And also you got your social media?
Yeah. You know what? Again, I would love for y'all to visit me at my website, Chistel, CHISTELL.com. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Facebook, Denise Turney. I'm